Hey everyone, welcome to this Getting Started webinar on how to use the Tradologics cloud platform. My name is Ron and I'm the founder of Tradologics. And without further ado, let's get started. I think that probably the most important thing to know about Tradologics is that it is a distributed platform, meaning there's no one structure of doing thing. Our entire vision and mission for the company and for the years to come is to provide a competent and distributed trading experience. And by using the word distributed twice, you already can tell that there's something a bit special about how Tradologics works. Now, before we go and understand how the different components in Tradologics kind of work and integrate together, let's take a look at how an algorithmic trading workflow looks like today. So I use the slide a lot. So that's a problem that we're all facing. So once you have that trading idea and know how you're going to make gazillion dollars in the stock market, now you usually have to go through a lot of different stuff. You have to download real-time prices. You need to write the code for that. You need to write the code to filter out stocks that doesn't match your criteria. You have to write the actual algorithm to generate the signals, and then put it all on a secure server, make sure that your code runs on it 24/7 without any hiccups, and then you need to set your order sizes and manage your positions and margins and submit orders to make sure that you have the execution part ready, and monitor what's going on there and adjust everything and just make sure that everything works. And again, the biggest problem is that once you want to do this on a different broker or a different exchange or different market or asset class, you have to do most of it all over again because each one of them have their own implementations of technology. So with Tradologics, we took quite a different approach. So what we do here, we have four main building blocks that are currently available that allows you to build your strategy in a much more, I would say, relaxed fashion. Okay, so we have the strategies object, we have the trade hooks object, we have monitors object, and the accounts objects. Okay, so we're going to take a look at each of them in just a moment, but first let's take a look at how a code of a trading algorithm usually looks like. Okay, so this is kind of the old way. This is your code, your strategy. This is where you do your magic, and it usually starts with fetching data. Okay, so you have that first part where you fetch the data, you download or you listen to streaming data that's incoming. You parse the data, process it, clean it, make sure that everything is compliant or normalized to the way that you need to ingest it. The next step would be to check the data for essentially monitoring tasks. Check what's up with your positions and what's up with pending orders or your risk levels or account margins, anything of that sort. That's usually the next part of your code. And then finally, once you realize that you don't have to exit positions or that your risk levels allows it, now it's time to actually generate a trading signal and actually submit your orders. So usually these are this is kind of a simplified form, but usually this is how this is the different parts of a strategy when you talk about an algorithm that execute trading ideas. All right. Now it gets obviously more complex because then the next step would be to have the monitors fetch additional data because they need I don't know, they need different information than what's coming in. And when you submit orders, you then go to do another monitor and check what's going on with your pending position. And when you with your pending orders, I'm sorry, and when you generate signals, you then go to check the position. So it's really not kind of a linear thing. It's more like an intertwined loop within a loop that just make sure that everything is on the up and up. All right. So this is kind of the old way of doing things. And as I mentioned, we have a few building blocks with Tradologics just to make all that experience a lot more simple. So are the strategies, trade hooks, monitors, and accounts. These are the main building blocks of your strategy. So let's start with strategies. So what are strategies? Strategies in Tradologics are completely passive objects. So you don't have to run through all that code of fetching data and checking position and doing all of that. You just define, you describe what events you want to respond to, and when such event happens, we're going to wake up your strategy and tell it to take the necessary steps that you initially describe. So, for example, you can have your strategy set up in such a way so when a new price is coming, you react to it in a certain way, and then when there's an update on a position, you act in another way, or when there's an order status being changed, you do something else with it. But you don't have to go through all that loop that we just saw. All right, so these are the strategies, and we're going to take a look at example code in just a bit. The second component is the trade hooks. And trade hooks, this is what really makes the Tradologics shine. So it's our data delivery engine, and essentially it keeps your strategy informed on everything that's going on, and when it becomes relevant to you. So we constantly getting pricing information streaming into the platform, but since you're only interested in stock A or a coin B, and we'll make sure that only these events are filtered out and passed on to you. If you have any sort of screening, we're gonna make sure that these are filtered out and gets to you. If your order is updated, every time you're gonna get by you I mean your strategy is gonna get a piece of information, is gonna be using a trade hook. Okay. So this is what we have there. Another thing is the monitors. So instead of you, as I mentioned earlier, instead of constantly having to check what's up with your positions and monitor and trades and orders and margins and all of that, you can create a monitor for that. So you can create essentially alerts for orders, price triggers. I want to know please let me know when Apple crosses $200, or please let me know when my position on broker A for this strategy goes above 1% or below 10% or whatever it may be. When this event, when this rule is met, where a trade is going to trigger, and it will send the information to you. Okay, to you, again, by you, I mean your strategy. So when something happens, your strategy will be notified about that. So as you can see, your strategy is not doing the heavy lifting here. Your strategy is just there to react to event that you specify. And you can specify them dynamically or on a one-time basis. So you can create monitors from within your strategy, as we'll see in just a bit. The last object, probably the simplest one, is the accounts. This is the object that contains your brokerage account information, including authentication details like your token or API key. And it holds all the information that you need about your account, meaning your position, your trades, your margin levels, your balance, your portfolios, everything that related to your account is in this object. Okay? Now, if we look at the cloud architecture in general, let's take a look at how data reaches your strategy and how your strategy communicates with the Tradologics cloud. The first thing is that data is coming through the internet to our cloud. So we receive data from AlgoSeek and from FinHub, IEX Cloud, and Thomson Reuters and other vendors, and we also receive information from different brokers. This is just the most colorful ones that I found for this slide. But the data is coming from different brokers, also to the Tradologics infrastructure. The next thing is we have all kinds of different processors. The ones that are kind of faded are kind of coming soon type of stuff. But this is where we process the data and turn it into bars and make sure that we monitor your position using this data. And we take a look at your orders and your portfolios and your account information. So everything is being updated constantly. That's kind of the second layer of how data flows from kind of the world to you. Next thing is that data from any one of these blocks is transferred to the Tradologics engine, and from the Tradologics engine, it reaches your strategy. Okay, using a post method. So the Tradologics will push JSON formatted information to your strategy. Your strategy can run securely on our servers, or you can run it on your own machines. That's fine with us. It's exactly the same thing. Whatever you prefer, you can run your strategies on our cloud or on your machines, but still use us for everything else. So this is how data reaches out to you. Now, once you create an order or you want to do any sort of proactive type of, let's say, a request, you want to know what's going on with a position that's not part of the data that you just received. So you wanted to receive information about Apple, but now you just want to know what's going on with the VIX, for example. So in that sense, you'll send a request to the core API of Tradologics. And this core API would communicate back either with our information layer, where all the bars, orders, portfolio data is located. If you want historical data that we don't have to go to back to the broker, but if you want more recent information, we're gonna go and communicate it back to your broker, like an order or anything like that. So this is how the data kind of flows within Tradologics. This is just an example of how you communicate with our cloud. So you're going to receive data from Tradologics, and you're going to send and receive data as well from the core API. And obviously, that goes along to your research environment as well. So if you're working either offline or on our research instances, you're going to be able to use the core API to send and receive data to and from the Tradologics cloud. All right. Another cool thing is that there's no one-to-one relationship between any of the things that you see here. So these are the main 4 objects that I mentioned earlier. So, and you see all the connected lines here. What I mean by that is that a strategy can receive data from multiple Tradologics. So you can have a Tradologic that says, please send me pricing information, 1 hour bars every 1 hour. But you can also have another Tradologic that says, I want to get information on a minute level for for a volatility instrument, just to manage risk for your strategy. So you can have multiple trade hooks sending data to the same strategy. It's not a one-to-one kind of thing. The same goes with monitors. So you can have strategy issues and create multiple monitors that monitor positions and pricing on multiple accounts and multiple instruments. Another thing is that a monitor, when it triggers, when a price goes above a certain threshold or a position goes above or below a certain threshold, it can notify it not only one strategy, but as many strategies as you want. So again, there's no one-to-one relationship there. Another thing is that a strategy can issue orders and execute orders on multiple accounts, so you can buy and sell crypto and equities at the same time from within the same strategy. So there's really not a lot of limitation as to what you can do with the way that we structured our architecture and our cloud in general. All right. There's one last thing that I want to mention is what is an action, because the way that we go back one slide. The way that you see all the data flows in and out of these different components, every time that there's something like this happen, it's an action. And this is the basic unit of how we measure your usage on the platform and how we build you based on. So an action represents any operation that you initiate with our cloud platform. That means anytime that you send an API call, that's going to be an action. Every time that you have a trade hook that pushes data to you, that's an action, because you control about the frequency of the trade hooks. You control the triggers, you control everything. So it's you initiated this trade hook for to actually perform. And another thing is every monitoring minute during market hours. So if you say, okay, I want to monitor when my position drops above or below certain threshold, or when a limit order is being filled, or rejected, or canceled, or expires, whatever. So essentially, these are things that we're going to monitor for you. And every minute that a monitor is active, it's going to be counted as one action. When you create a monitor, and we'll see this in just a moment, you have an option to also tell us when you want this monitor to expire. So let's say that you wanna know when you are up 1% on your position, or when 24 hours have expired. So you can set the limitation of your monitor to 24 hours. And if within those 24 hours your monitor didn't trigger, then it's going to expire, and you'll get a notification about it, which will tell you that, you know what, 24 hours have passed since you've entered this position. If you want to take an action now, like creating a new monitor, or exit your position, or do whatever it is, this is the time. All right, so this is kind of what an action is, and I hope everything that we've seen kind of makes sense. If you need any help with integrating, or you don't understand something, or something isn't completely clear, you have a few options of getting help. One is using the documentation website. You see all the list of all the API endpoints that we have, kind of some tutorials, and see a simple code of a strategy. Another option is just to email support@tradologics.com, or accounts@tradologics.com, or use the chat box on our website. So your emails and your chat box essentially are being funneled to the same place, where myself and the team are taking a look at them and trying to answer as fast as we can. So this is how you're going to get help, and I really hope that you're going to find our platform useful. And I'm really excited to have you on board, and I can't wait to see what you're going to build. So thank you for your time, and see you soon inside.